This has been cover swiped so many times. Even The Simpsons have an episode where they cover swipe this, and there's a scene where Marge is getting knives thrown at her.
Hey everybody, this is Keston, and we're doing the second part of a two-part series on great Golden Age covers. And once again, I'm collaborating with my good friend, Comic Collector Geek. So we're going to show 5 books. He's going to show 3 of his, and I'm going to show 2 of mine, and we're going to go back and forth. Just a heads up, last book that I'm going to show, I actually missed it the first time it went for auction, and I dreamt about it for 2 nights in a row. It kept coming up in my head over and over again. And so I was fortunate enough to get that book in a later auction. By the way, Alan always brings the heat when it comes to Golden Age. So you're going to see some really great books for him as well. So without further ado, CCG, let me know what book you got.
Funny that you say that kind of story. I had the exact same thing happen with this story, like with this comic. This one was sort of one I kept on chasing and kept on losing like at the last minute on the bids. So this is All Top Comics, I believe number 10. I always forget which issue number. Yes, number 10. I was right. Okay. For a second, I forgot what issue number. It's All Top Comics number 10. It's a great Rula. This is Rula. I believe it's a Jack Kamen cover.
It is.
It's got so many elements for me. I love Women in Peril covers. And this is, it's got the guillotine going on, like sort of like a saw or guillotine kind of like element. Got the woman in bondage, and he's got a little spear, and just so many elements. And got the skulls. Lots of great Golden Age elements going on. I love covers where it's got like some kind of action, something happening. You're not sure how the scene's going to play out, and that makes you want to read the comic. I think that they did really well in the Golden Age. Much more so than what we see nowadays with modern covers. Like a modern cover, you see, oh, there's a pretty girl on the cover and she's just posing, or something like that. But there's no like story there. In the modern, I find in the modern era, there's really a lack of story on the covers. And that's what I love about the Golden Age, that you get this kind of full story on the cover. It's almost like the trailer for a movie. All Top Comics number 10. And this one, I honestly, I think I lost 5 times on this book.
Wow.
So it was the one I was just chasing and chasing. I finally got it, so I was quite happy.
My first book I'm going to show, and let me remove my background for a second so you can see it. Startling Comics number 53. And Alan, I showed Startling Comics number 52 on your channel. And this is the very next one in the series. And this is the series that Startling Comics number 49 is in. That's the most famous of these particular issues. But this is such a cool cover. And by the way, Alan, I think that I matched your color scheme pretty well. A lot of yellows and reds in both of our comic books. And, in this case, you got the 2 heroes there fighting off the aliens at the bottom, and just a really classic cover. The other thing too, Alan, if you can see that spaceship in the background. Mm-hmm. One thing I love is for the depth that's projected in this cover. And so you see these aliens that are getting out of their ship, and they're like a whole wave of them, like moving forward to the 2 heroes. And as you mentioned before, Schomburg has a way of showing almost this futility of the heroes in their fight. So you're like, okay, you got this pea shooter over here, another pea shooter, and you've got what looks like tens or hundreds of thousands of little aliens that they're fighting against. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. The last thing that I'll mention as well, and I'll hold this pretty close up, is this is kind of graphic here. Do you see that alien being blown up there via that shot? Yeah, so that's kind of a cool cover. So this is one of my favorites too. And if you're interested in price, this is a book that in low grade will cost maybe $400 or $500. If you get to mid grade, it's sort of that $1,000 to $2,000 range as well.
Yeah, it's not one that's one of the more famous from that run. What's funny, like people will gravitate to, oh, this is the comic you have to get. But there's some other really great ones in the run that, are really undervalued. The one that you showed on the previous one is one that I've been chasing because I actually see it as just a really great cover that is undervalued. I really just, and that one there is undervalued in my opinion. Just imagine drawing all those little aliens. I mean, that's that's awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, Schomburg was absolutely on fire. It was from 1947 to 1949 that he was doing these airbrush covers. and across 4 different series. So it was Startling, Wonder, Exciting, and Thrilling. There are 37 total covers, and they are just my favorite. I mean, out of all the 37, there might be a cover or 2 that I don't like, and everything else is phenomenal. Yeah, maybe that's for a different time. Maybe we can say, Alan, what are the least favorite covers that you own? And like, why the heck did you buy it in the first place? But I got a few of those in my collection.
Why did I buy
that? Yeah. So how about you? What's your next book?
I feel like if we mention the Golden Age, we have to mention EC. So I figured I had to bring an EC book onto the show. And I love women in peril. So there's a theme going on with women in peril, and this is a really awesome one. It's Tales of the Crypt, number 41. This has been cover swiped so many times. Even The Simpsons have an episode where they cover swipe this, and there's a scene where Marge is getting knives thrown at her. This is just a really great one. This is a Jack Davis cover. Got the woman in bikini. I go for women in bikinis for some reason. But the thing that I like about it is it's the situation where she's pinned down. The knives are all around her, the typical like knife throwing scene. But that axe is not, it's not going to end well. So it's just a really great, shocking cover. And I really kind of see EC as the king of the shock comics in terms of the Golden Age. And they sort of dominated Golden Age horror. I also like sometimes a little bit cartoonish covers. I find that this one's a bit cartoonish.
Yeah, I mean, that one too is, like you said, it's that moment of peril. It's like, how is this going to work out? Like, unless she's on a spinning wheel and that wheel rotates in a way that's favorable to her, it just doesn't seem any way that axe is going to miss her.
Yeah. She's done.
Yeah. What a great way to like drum up some suspense and interest with the cover. I mean, you look at it and it takes you just a second to think, oh gosh, okay, already a bunch of knives have been thrown at her. And it seems like he was intentionally missing. And then for that axe, it was like, it seems like that was intentional as well, but he's trying to hit her. So yeah, crazy. If you're interested in these types of covers and this horror genre, check out Alan's channel. He's got so many great videos on these EC books before the Comic Code came out. And if you want to find out more about the Comic Code and why it came about, also check out Alan's channel. Right, so that brings me to my final book. Now, this is a book that I have never shown on YouTube. It's Submariner Comics number 11. And this is a Schomburg, again, another Schomburg cover, all-time classic. Notice the grade on this book is a 9.2, and this is the Rockford pedigree copy. So this is number 2 on the census. So it's truly a world-class book. The reason I like it so much, and the reason that I spent several nights thinking about this book when I didn't get it at auction, was just the sort of dynamism of it, that you have Submariner standing in the jaws of a dragon, and where his hands are on sort of the lips of the dragon, and right above it, you have all these flames shooting out of the nostril. And it's just like, wow, what the heck is going on? And how improbable is that? Like, how the heck did he get into the jaws of the dragon? And then like second, like how did he turn around so you actually see his body? It was like, did he like walk backwards into the dragon and then like hoist the jaws open? I don't know how he did it, but just an amazing cover, and one that I look at all the time. And it's really tough to find in grade.
Who's the artist for it?
It's Alex Schomburg.
Alex Schomburg. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised if you haven't noticed. 90% of the books that I show are Schomburg. I'm a Schomburg freak.
Yeah, no, he's great. And that's a really great cover. I've seen it on auction. I actually bid on it. Didn't even come close to winning. It went way higher than what I bid. So
Al, what you got for your last book, man?
We sort of talked about this before. I thought a certain book was not done by a certain artist, and I thought it was this other artist. And the artist is Al Felstein.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Al Felstein fan. He didn't really do much in terms of good girl art. He did only a few titles of good girl art. He did Sunny, Junior, and Haphazard.
Mhm.
And then he shifted over to EC Comics, where he did more like the fantasy kind of sci-fi kind of covers.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of his Good Girl art.
Mm.
I've been trying to get every single cover that he did under those titles. So I'm only missing 2 right now. This is Junior number 16. It's the last of the title for Junior. It's a roller coaster one. I love roller coaster covers. I'm gonna actually take it out of the plastic because it's actually a quite nice copy. But I'm a big Al Felstein fan. I've been trying to pick them all up, and they're pretty pricey because other people, I guess, must love them as much as I do. Just before filming this video with you, literally, like I'm talking like 1 or 2 minutes before filming this video, there was a knock at my door, and I just got the very last Al Felstein cover that I needed for my Junior run. It's in a box on my floor as we're talking. So that'll be in a future unboxing that I'll show that one. So
Oh, congratulations. Hey, Alan, thanks so much for sharing your books. If you like Golden Age books, you like Good Girl art, you like pre-code horror, check out Alan's channel, and also check out Alan's channel for part 1 to see the rest of this 2-part series. Thanks so much for joining us. Alan, thanks for being here, and hopefully we'll work together again very soon.